Hey family,
Hey, everybody.
welcome back to Let's Stay Married Together. As we said before, we wanted your questions and we thank you that you're sending them to us. We have a really good question today that we hope that the answer is a help to someone out there. And this is a good one, you guys.
Okay, so here's the question. So, my spouse cheated on me, and I chose to stay to rebuild my marriage and forgive him. But when we get into arguments or disputes, I get very angry because I feel as though he has no right to be mad at me due to the fact that I forgave him for his discretions. Am I wrong for that? And how do I work that out?
So for this one, we brought in the heavy hitters. We said before, we don't always have all the answers, but for this one, we felt that it needed a more in depth answer. And so we called on one of our dear friends to help us with this one. And tell them about our friend.
So, the person that you're going to hear from is Dr. Tina Bedell. She is a licensed marriage and family therapist and a board certified life coach and minister. She
Yes.
also has a book that is available on Amazon called
Excellent book.
Naked and Unashamed. It
Yes.
is phenomenal. So we decided that it would be best to get her take first. We're going to come back after you hear her response and we're going to just wrap it up.
And this book also answers a whole myriad of questions that you might have pertaining to your marriage. If you're having difficulty, please go on Amazon, pick it up. It will help you and it will help your marriage. Dr. Tina Bedell.
I think the biggest question is, have you really forgiven him? Because if you have forgiven him, the Bible talks about one of the definitions of love is that it keeps no record of wrong. And so, understanding that being a married couple, you're going to get into arguments, you're going to get into disputes. But if you have totally forgiven him, you're not keeping any records of wrongs. So if you guys get in an argument, that shouldn't even come to your mind. It shouldn't be brought up. It shouldn't be an issue and seen as a separate entity at that time or whatever you're disputing. The question is, you said that you were repairing it or you've repaired it. What have you done to repair it? Have you been to counseling? Because it does not sound like you are totally over it. And you can forgive your spouse, but still need to work through the healing process. And part of going through the healing process is probably seeking therapy so you can work through it maybe individually first. And if that does not work, then come together in marriage counseling and do it that way. But it sounds like you have not forgiven him. And that is the reason why you get so upset when he gets angry or you guys get into disputes. As a married couple, you're going to have disputes, but one thing should not have anything to do with the other if you have forgiven them.
Didn't we tell you she was good?
We told you.
Okay, so guys, really, we appreciate Dr. Bedell for just chiming in on this question because again, we recognized the weight of the question. So we didn't want to just come on and just throw an answer at you guys. We really did want to get some professional advice as well. And with that being said, and she alluded to it, some things, yes, can is with prayer, but sometimes you really do need to seek out the help of a licensed therapist,
Absolutely.
because infidelity, is
Traumatized.
it's traumatizing. It really is, and sometimes we need the assistance of others to work through those feelings.
Absolutely. And, in this particular question, the writer, as we stated, said that she had forgiven, but at the same time, held on to some of that pain, and that pain affected future situations that had happened after that point. And I think we need to take a really good look at forgiveness. And forgiveness doesn't, in and of itself, always mean that you necessarily forget. So it's a process. And
Yeah.
forgiveness, and then there's a process of restoration. And that restorative process takes time, it takes a lot of healing. And as Dr. Bedell said, love, even from a biblical perspective, it doesn't keep a record of wrong. And
Yeah.
getting to that place does not happen overnight.
No, it doesn't. It takes work and
Yeah.
it takes time. And there's a, you know, and the one thing that I do want to even add to that is, you know, just because a person does something wrong doesn't mean that everything that they do is wrong. So even there are even times that you have to be able to internalize, you know, am I angry because they were wrong in this situation, or am I angry even though I was wrong? I just expect them to blow it off because I forgave them.
Right.
You know, so it's a lot.
Right. And are you angry today because they're right? And because they did you wrong in the past,
Yeah.
you almost feel like they don't even have a right to feel, or they don't even have a right to be right.
Yeah.
And just because they were wrong once and this discretion took place doesn't mean that everything they do from that point on is wrong. And you know, you still have to own and take responsibility for your actions and reactions to things. So it's a long process. So we didn't want to just throw out a blanket answer out there. And it's an ongoing discussion, nor did we cover every element of it, but hopefully some of the things that we shared and Dr. Bedell shared helps not just the individual with the question, but someone else who may be going through something similar.
Yeah, and just to again just throw it back up here, listen, there are so many tools out there that are available to help you. This is one of them. Hopefully we're going to hear from Dr. Bedell later on as well. Hopefully she'll have an opportunity to be able to share and she has some great stuff going on.
She does.
I do know that she's actually going to be in New Jersey for a conference coming up in October. So I'm definitely going to get that information and get that out to all of you guys as well, because in that conference she's dealing with how to deal with trauma. And if truth be told, all of us really could use some help on how to deal and heal when things happen to us and we're traumatized. So thank you guys for coming
you
on
so
today.
much.
Thanks for watching. Listen, if you have any questions, any comments, please put it out there. We'd love to hear from you. We appreciate you guys more than you know. And listen, what are we going to do together?
Let's stay married together. Peace
Bye-bye.
and God bless. Thank you.
Dr. Tina Bedell.